Okay, so I was scrolling through some behind-the-scenes footage of Luke Thompson and Yerin. You know, just regular Tuesday stuff. And I sent a clip to my friend, who's a body language coach. She watched it for literally 4 seconds and went, "Oh, they actually like each other." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I mean, that's not acting." So that sent me down a rabbit hole. Because we've all felt it watching their interviews together. That thing, that pull. But feeling it and being able to name it are two completely different things. So today we're going to name it. We are going full forensic on Luke Thompson and Yerin real-life chemistry. The science, the signals, and the moments that experts say you genuinely cannot fake. Welcome back to Fury Front. If you're new here, hi, I'm so glad the algorithm brought you to me today. This channel is your home for Bridgerton deep dives that go way beyond the recaps. Hit subscribe, because we have a lot more Lukerin content coming, and you do not want to miss it. Let's do a quick 30-second primer before we get into the good stuff. Body language researchers estimate that somewhere between 60 and 93% of human communication is nonverbal. Words are actually the least reliable indicator of how someone feels. We lie with words constantly. We are much, much worse at controlling our bodies. There are specific signals, called micro-expressions, that flash across a person's face in under a quarter of a second. They're involuntary. Trained analysts can read them, but the person making them often has no idea they're doing it. And then there are proximity signals, mirroring behaviors, and touch patterns that all tell a story the person's mouth never agreed to tell. So when I say we're going to look at Luke and Yerin through this lens, I'm not saying this to ship them or manufacture something that isn't there. I'm saying there are specific documented behaviors in their interviews and press content that keep showing up. And they mean something. The first thing experts flag is what's called proxemics, how physically close two people choose to stand or sit relative to what the setting requires. Think about your standard press junket setup. Two co-stars on a couch, some photographer is calling their name, they smile, they sit at a professional distance. That's the default. That's what the room expects. Now go watch any Luke and Yerin press appearance and pay attention to where they actually position themselves. They consistently close the gap beyond what the situation requires. In multiple interview setups, where there is clearly enough room on the sofa, they are not using it. They gravitate toward each other. Body language analysts call this voluntary proximity reduction, and it's one of the most reliable early indicators of genuine comfort and attraction. It's not something you consciously decide to do. You drift toward people you feel safe with, and you maintain distance from people you don't. It's almost entirely automatic. What makes this interesting with Luke and Yerin is that it happens across different settings, not just one interview where maybe the cameraman asked them to sit closer. It's a pattern. Patterns are what matter. Okay, mirroring. This one is fascinating, and I think it's one of the most obvious things happening between these two, if you know what you're looking for. Mirroring is when you unconsciously match another person's body position, gestures, speech cadence, or energy level. It's something we do with people we deeply like or admire. It's also what good actors do, deliberately, to build on-screen connection with their scene partner. The difference is that conscious mirroring tends to have a slight delay, like you're following a template. Unconscious mirroring is smooth, simultaneous, reflexive. Watch a clip of Luke laughing, and watch what Yerin's body does in that same moment. Watch what happens to their posture when one of them leans in during a question. There's this synchrony that shows up repeatedly. Their laugh timing, their energy shifts, the way one of them will tilt their head and within a beat, the other one does it too. Now, to be fair, actors are trained in this. Luke has talked about physical and emotional preparation for a role. But training gives you the tool. It doesn't give you the frequency. The sheer volume of times this happens between them, in contexts that have nothing to do with playing Benedict and Sophie, suggests it's run on autopilot. Touch is where body language gets really specific and really revealing. There are different categories of touch in interpersonal communication. You've got functional touch, a handshake, helping someone through a door, that's just logistics. Then there's social touch, a pat on the shoulder at an event. The side hug for a photo. That's culturally scripted. And then there's affiliative touch, which is the spontaneous, non-required physical contact that people initiate when they feel genuine warmth or connection. Watch for the affiliative touch moments between Luke and Yerin in their press content. The hand on the arm during a story. The lean-in that includes brief shoulder contact. The way one of them will reach over during a moment of shared laughter. None of these are required. There's no script calling for them. They're elected. And Luke specifically, he is not a highly demonstrative person by nature. You can see this in his other press appearances with the broader Bridgerton cast. He's warm, but he's measured. He's not someone who's casually touching everyone in the room. Which makes the moments with Yerin read differently. The baseline matters when you're trying to interpret behavior. Okay, I saved the most scientifically well-documented one for here. Eye contact. Sustained mutual eye contact releases oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, in both parties. Researchers at Keio University found that mutual eye contact triggers measurable neurological responses that are distinct from non-mutual eye contact. It's why we find it either deeply connecting or deeply uncomfortable, depending on who it's with. Now look at how Luke and Yerin make eye contact during interviews, specifically when the other person is talking. This is the tell. It's easy to maintain eye contact when you're speaking because you're performing. The real signal is how intently you watch someone when they've got the floor, and there's nothing for you to do but listen. Luke Thompson watches Yerin Ha with this particular quality of attention that's hard to describe, but very easy to see. It's not the polite nodding and waiting for your turn listening. It's the kind of listening where someone has your whole face. Yerin does the same. They're genuinely interested in what the other person is saying, in real time, every time. That's not nothing. A lot of co-stars who get along fine don't have that. That level of attentiveness is either trained and very hard to maintain consistently across months of press, or it's real. Because this wouldn't be a complete picture without their actual words. Both Luke and Yerin have spoken in interviews about how quickly they connected during the preparation process for Season 4. Yerin has described feeling an immediate ease with Luke. Luke has talked about their rehearsal dynamic in terms that go beyond professional courtesy. There's warmth in how he describes working with her, and something that sounds a lot like genuine admiration. Yerin has also mentioned that some of their most effective emotional scenes came from moments of improvisation, things that weren't scripted but happened naturally between them and were kept in. That matters. Improvisation requires trust, and the kind of trust that makes you both brave enough to go off script in a scene this emotionally charged. That's not something you build with a co-star you're merely professionally comfortable with. There's a version of all of this where two very talented, very professional actors simply have excellent on-screen chemistry because they're good at their jobs. But the off-camera data, the proxemics, the mirroring, the touch patterns, the quality of attention, it doesn't just stop when the cameras aren't pointed at the characters. It keeps showing up when it's Luke and Yerin being Luke and Yerin. And that's the part that's hard to explain away. Look, I'm not here to tell you what to do with any of this. I'm not in their business. What I am saying is that the signals body language experts look for, the involuntary ones, the patterned ones, the ones that are really hard to fake consistently across 6 months of press, those are showing up. Repeatedly. Benedict and Sophie are one of the most beloved love stories in the whole Bridgerton universe. And part of what makes that on-screen magic feel so undeniable is that the people playing them seem to genuinely like each other. A lot. In a way that bleeds right through the screen. Now I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Do you think Luke and Yerin's chemistry is purely professional, or do you think there's something real there? And be honest, because I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know your read on this. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps this channel more than you know. Subscribe if you haven't, because we are deep in our Benedict and Sophie era, and there is so much more coming.